We have a city right now that is so hot that the Weather Bureau is telling people not to leave their homes. This is in Tarcoola, Australia, with the high temperatures forecasted to be 116 degrees Fahrenheit this Thursday afternoon, January 8th, 47 degrees Celsius. Temperatures are just brutal in other portions of Australia as well. You'll actually see on AccuWeather, it just said stay indoors if you're in that part of the world. This is where we're seeing extreme heat. We also have phenomenal stuff happening here in the United States. You're listening to Weather with Enthusiasm. This is January 7th, Wednesday evening. Simcha Lefton, your weather enthusiast. Temperatures in the 90s occurred today in Texas. This is the energy which is going to feed into a developing storm system over the next 24 hours. This storm system is going to produce quite a heavy rainfall event for portions of the Midwest. In fact, we have some areas that are on a level 2 out of 5 for flash flooding, especially over portions of Mississippi. But we also have record-breaking moisture levels across many Midwest cities. The rainfall is going to be impressive over many locations, especially in Iowa. What's also interesting is that this storm system, although it is expected to collide with Arctic air on the backside, especially in the upper Midwest, it's not forecasted to produce that typical 6 to 12 inch bullseye that we usually get in these stronger storm systems here in the Midwest. Phasing is expected to take place a little bit too late. That's the current thinking. So snow totals, the Des Moines, Iowa National Weather Service is telling us 1 to 3 inches. The snow totals over there would be a little bit higher, but there's something called the aggregation where the snowflakes are going to come down in such a way that they like bang against each other, and therefore it comes down in a more compact way. Therefore, only 1 to 3 inches is forecasted. One would think that this should be capable of producing 3 to 6 inches. Areas near lakes, perhaps, if you're in an area which will get lake enhancement, but you would have to get into places like Michigan, perhaps could see something like that. But the main snow is going to be coming from system number 2. That system also, as of right now, has all the ingredients in a certain way. It has the Arctic air, it has copious amounts of Gulf moisture, and it has the storm system. But we have other dynamics that are just not coming together to be producing the major 6 to 12 inch snowstorms, which a lot of times happen here in the Midwest from these southern stream storms. So both of these systems, as of right now, are not forecasted to bring they're not forecasted to bring a major winter storm into the Midwest for most locations. We do have some concerns in the upper Michigan area, especially if you're near the lake, for the possibility, especially for system number 2. The National Weather Service tells us a 30 to 40% chance for seeing more than 8 inches over there. And then by the lake, you can get even higher amounts if you're positioned in the just right off the lake when the winds are coming. This system we have winds from the west and northwest. So you could get maybe 2 to 6 inches higher snow totals for those areas. But the widespread snow totals are more like 3 to 6 inches. It feels like that's unusual for January, but in recent years we've been seeing that. And when it used to be that Dave Murray, the chief meteorologist for Channel 2 KTVI in St. Louis, he said there's 3 ingredients that you need to produce a major winter storm here in the Midwest. When these 3 ingredients come together, major winter storm of 6 inches of snow or more, copious amounts of Gulf moisture, Arctic air, and deep low pressure. We have the three ingredients coming together, but they have to come together just right for all this to happen. There's a lot of potential here. The St. Louis National Weather Service the main weather maker in this situation is going to be on the warm sector, unseasonably warm air. It's not just the 90s in Texas or upper 70s for Dallas, Texas. Some areas even around 80 degrees over there. We also have high humidity, which has been moving in off the Gulf of Mexico into Louisiana. Temperatures in the low to mid 80s over there with dew points in the mid and even upper 60s. Those dew points are going to make a race. They're going to make a run into the Chicago, a 60-degree dew point, not quite forecasted to make it into the Chicago area. But here's a rule of thumb that the National Weather Service tells us, that if you want to know the northern extent of the severe weather risk during winter systems, it's the area where the dew points hit 60 degrees. That brings us up to St. Louis, Missouri, and some other areas in Illinois, possibly normal Illinois, and that's but the National Weather Service also tells us that a lot of times in these systems, the wintertime systems, the models underestimate how far north the moisture is going to go. So the current thinking is that the 60-degree dew point air might make it as far as Interstate 80, coming very close to the Chicago area. And this is where we do have a severe weather risk of either a 1 or in some spots even a 2. The severe weather risk stays west of the Mississippi when you go down south towards Memphis, Tennessee. Another thing down there is that the cold front on the backside is a Pacific cold front when you're down there. But when you go up north, the air blowing in behind the front has Arctic origin. So, in fact, in North Dakota, they're telling us that temperatures will be dropping into the single digits in some of those locations. So we do have solid Arctic air that's coming in on the backside for the upper Midwest, but the front actually stalls. The front stalls, and if the temperatures do not have that same drastic drop that we usually see with an Arctic front, and for front number 1, but it does put cold air in place, creating a good setup somewhat for system number 2 to produce snow in many of the cities. Just enough cold air that we could be seeing snow for system number 2. The real cold air comes in after system number 2, and then later next week, after a quick warm-up for the beginning part of next week, later next week, we start to see much colder temperatures that start to come in with several clippers, and that's when we could go back to a winter weather pattern for a good half. For the mid to late January, a winter weather pattern which is consistent with the long-term weather outlook for 3 to 4 weeks out as well. So it looks like we will be getting a winter setup, although we do realize every year there is something called the January thaw, January 23rd to January 27th. Getting back to the severe weather risk, there's a non-zero chance for even weak tornadoes in the St. Louis area. That's tomorrow. The Chicago region is going to have mild temperatures. The real warmth, however, comes in after 6 p.m. tomorrow evening, where those temperatures and dew points start to go up. In fact, northern Illinois there's a good chance portions of northern Illinois will be breaking records late at night, around midnight, for both Thursday, January 8th, and Friday, January 9th. Now, many people might not be outside when this is happening. People are going to be sleeping and won't be aware that we might be going through 2 consecutive days of record heat here in the northern Illinois area, and we're coming very close to record heat here in the Chicago area. Friday's record high, this is totally amazing, was set back in 1880. 146 years ago. Can you imagine that? We have not, the record high is 63 degrees for Friday, January 9th. It has not hit 63. The last time it hit 63, Friday, January 9th, was 1880. January 9th, 1880. That was the last time. So, forecasted high officially for the date is forecasted to be in the upper 50s. So it's coming close. It's coming close to it. But by the time people are out and about, the temperatures are going to be colder. We're already going to be facing the air behind the front. Now, here's another wrench, I guess, another strange variable, relatively speaking, you throw into the puzzle over here, and that's that the cold front is expected to stall a little bit south of St. Louis. Kind of resembles language you would hear in a summertime weather pattern. But this cold front is stalling. It's not the same type of stall we would see in the summertime. It's stalling due to another area of low pressure. This is storm system number 2 that develops out in the southwest, which brings its southerly flow out ahead of it. That is why the cold front is expected to stall, although it will eventually continue going southeast. Storm system number 2 comes in. We have some issues with that one, which for the snow lovers, we may not be able to get the significant snow out of that one either. Things could always change, but that system again is expected to bring accumulating snow to a good portion of the Midwest, just not the classic traditional 6 to 12 inch setup until you get to the northern Michigan area. That area might be getting a more significant amount. 3 to 6 inches is a very reasonable forecast for that area at the minimal. Well, we already said there's a 30 to 40% chance they could be getting more than 8 inches because the storm really starts to develop it starts to phase really well as it moves east. All the offices speak about how complex that second system is. We have a northern stream system colliding with the southern stream system. And for system number 1, we have a combination of Pacific moisture and Gulf moisture with record levels of moisture or close to it for many locations here in the Midwest. We have temperatures going into the 60s for the St. Louis area. That's already occurred. Des Moines, Iowa saw highs in the low 60s this afternoon, Wednesday, January 7th. That's what they saw. We have a monster snow event happening in Juneau, Alaska for 82 inches of snow for this past month of December. We're told 12 to 18 inches of snow on the way for this week. Another article I read showed they had the number 30 in it, so the possibility of even 30 inches. But if you look at some of these pictures that are going on in Juneau, Alaska, it's not just a large amount of snow. It's also that a lot of it also fell with rain, so it's super condensed. The language used in some of these articles is that the snow is like cement. You see cars buried in snow, roofs are collapsing, boats are sinking. People are trying to pull the boats out of the water. It's really a historical winter storm over there. It's been a historical season so far for Juneau, Alaska. Very intense stuff. The temperatures have been above freezing, but the snow continues. Today, more snow tonight, and more snow for tomorrow. A lot of this information comes from many National Weather Service forecast discussions in the Midwest, including St. Louis, Missouri, Chicago, Illinois, Memphis, Tennessee, New Orleans, Louisiana, Dallas, Texas, Norman, Oklahoma, Bismarck, North Dakota, Duluth, Minnesota, Des Moines, Iowa, and I believe there were others, someplace, Detroit, Michigan, and another city in Michigan. All of those forecast discussions, Memphis, Tennessee is in the solid warm sector of the storm. If you want to hear what's going on in the warm sector of the storm, Memphis, Tennessee is a great National Weather Service to check. So is the New Orleans, Louisiana National Weather Service. If you want to hear about the energy that's being transferred into the storm due to the heat, you could read the Corpus Christi National Weather Service and the Dallas, Texas National Weather Service forecast discussion. If you want to hear about the solid Arctic air that's coming into the storm system, you could read the Bismarck, North Dakota National Weather Service. Read about that. If you want to hear about the complexities of the rain snow line You can look at the Chicago National Weather Service. The heaviest precipitation remains north and west of the Chicago area. And the Des Moines, Iowa National Weather Service was the one that I saw, spoke about 1 to 3 inches of snow. And the other ones, we can't even seem to get that. Cheyenne, Wyoming is forecasting 2 to 4 inches, but they're located in a different part of the storm altogether. It's before any phasing takes place. But I guess the fluffier nature of the snow over there, despite the lower moisture levels, and still brings slightly higher snowfall accumulations of 2 to 4 inches. So the snow lovers could realize there's a lot of potential here, but forecasts do not call for all of the ingredients to come together to produce a major winter storm as of now. It's certainly close, but close is not good enough. Nonetheless, it's worth watching. Let's see if anything changes over here. And again, we do have a severe weather risk in effect for tomorrow, making close to the Chicago area as well. And this includes even some weak tornadoes in St. Louis. But the main risk is going to be the damaging winds that are really just above the surface, and they could come down from any strong shower that exists. Some of the forecast offices are saying that the lightning is expected to be minimal in many of these storms. So, thank you for listening. Those of you that enjoy the heat and the warmth, you have a couple days more of this unseasonable warmth if you live in Louisiana, Texas as well. Oklahoma, by the way, Norman, Oklahoma, there might be a little light accumulating snow event Friday afternoon for that area. And again, in Australia, the heat is expected to take a turn downward, but for Thursday, January 8th, 116 degrees, 47 degrees Celsius, and the warning people should stay indoors due to the heat. Thank you for listening. I wish everybody a wonderful night, a wonderful week, and stay safe. You've been listening to a podcast called Weather with Enthusiasm.